Wow is the only word I can use to sum up what I've just witnessed in the Premier League this evening. Liverpool 2, Arsenal 2 at Anfield, a massive game in the title race, obviously, for Arsenal. Liverpool, not really much to play for themselves. I think it's fair to say they're probably out of the top 4 race now, given the fact they're now actually winless in their last 4 games, which is quite mental. But to be fair, yeah, just take it back, scrape it back from the magnitude of this game and the event of this game. What a football match we just witnessed. I mean, a 2-2 draw, a game where Liverpool were massively up against it at the start, where Arsenal completely and utterly tore through them with those goals from Martinelli and Gabriel Jesus early in the first half. Mo Salah gets the goal back, and it was almost like Liverpool just clicked into gear with a click of their fingers and really almost got a kick up the arse just within themselves, and yet really dominated the game for the whole of the second half. And obviously with Mo Salah's penalty miss as well, they'll probably be upset they didn't go on to win the game, to be honest, which shows, you know, the performance from Liverpool and just the overall outcome of the game overall in terms of the performance from both teams. It was just an absolute sight to behold of a football match, and definitely in my opinion will go down as one of the greatest matches we've seen in the Premier League history for, you know, the magnitude of the game and just the finish of the game as well, where Ramsdale pulls off 2 world-class saves and then Martinelli goes up the other end and completely scuffs an opportunity to pass it through to Saka to potentially win the game in the biggest smash and grab fashion we've seen from a title chasing team in the second half there. Just absolute carnage at the end of the game especially, and it was like that for the whole game and had absolutely everything in terms of the quality of play, the, you know, bite in the game, there was scraps in the game, it was end to end for certain periods of the game, and yet just the atmosphere as well at Anfield really was absolutely insane after Mo Salah got that goal back at the end of the first half. So I'll try and analyse this game as best I possibly can, because it's going to be a difficult one, because yeah, like I said, my mind is still trying to actually process what I've just witnessed, especially at the end of that game. But yeah, I guess we'll get straight into it. But before we get into it, subscribe to the channel, do it right now. We're so close now to 2,000 subscribers. We actually might have hit it by the time I'm making this video. But yeah, if you do me a favour and hit that big, fat, juicy, succulent subscribe button, you'd be an absolute legend in helping me get there as soon as possible, and leave a like on the video if you do go on to enjoy it as well. I do content on the title race, the relegation battle, my own club Chelsea, as we go through depression, witness the depression with me and laugh at my sorrow when I watch Chelsea matches. But yeah, we do content on the Premier League in general, but less of the bullshit, more of the analysis. We'll get into this video now. And yeah, to be fair, I think it was a game that I can perfectly sum up in terms of the control and dominance of the game. I think Arsenal for the first half an hour, 35-40 minutes, were much the dominant team. I think they really exposed Liverpool defensively, and I think Liverpool is set up with this almost 3-2-4-1 system, which is completely new to me, and almost played Trent Alexander-Arnold in that, you know, newly found John Stones role in this City team, which I think they really struggled with, to be fair. And Alexander-Arnold, even out of possession, was still playing in the back 4, so he was still getting found out by, you know, Martinelli down that left-hand side for the first half. But Alexander-Arnold, I think, I want to just single him out, because I think he was one that really epitomised Liverpool's performance in terms of how bad they started and how much they grew into the game and how much they wanted it and fought for it in the second half. And I think Trent Alexander-Arnold was a perfect example of that, because he was really good in the second half and obviously made the equalising goal with a brilliant pass in Zinchenko. But yeah, like I said, then Mo Salah's goal, obviously from absolutely out of nowhere, got Liverpool back into the game. And I think the main thing about Salah's goal was getting the crowd back on side, because after Jesus scored especially, the crowd was absolutely dead and buried in terms of the atmosphere, and Salah's goal really got them behind the team and gave them something to believe in. And after that goal, I mean, it was literally backs to the wall for Arsenal for the entirety of the second half. It just shows in the expected goals: 3.96 expected goals for Liverpool, 1.41 for Arsenal, 59% of the ball for Liverpool in, you know, a rare occasion where Arsenal don't dominate possession, which, yeah, as I said, is very much a rare sight this season. 21 shots to 9 for Liverpool and 8 big chances against Arsenal. Do you understand how insane that is? 8 big chances against the league leaders and 6 of those big chances missed. I mean, it just goes to show Liverpool, especially with that, you know, penalty miss from Salah, they'll be utterly depressed they didn't win this game, to be honest. And yeah, I think Arsenal, I think it was, if they won the game, it really would have been a case of, I think that would have been the game that they signalled out as the reason they won the league. And I think they defended really well, to be fair, and up until that, you know, lapse in concentration almost from Zinchenko to get nutmegged by Alexander-Arnold, and Firmino strikes again against Arsenal as he usually does. But yeah, I mean, just, I think Arsenal, I think it shows how far Arsenal have come as a club, where they've been absolutely dominated for, you know, up to an hour of the game and still come away with a draw and feel like it's a loss. I think that is kudos to Arsenal in that sense, and I think that overall, if they look back on things and when they drive back in the bus tonight back to London, I think on the face of things they'll probably take a draw, because this was going to be one of the toughest games they'll play this season, especially in the run-in and how much pressure's on their shoulders. And I thought before the game that they would get a draw from the game, Liverpool, and obviously I was right. And even at 2-0 down, down, I did actually think that Liverpool would come back, because I just thought they're just that team, Liverpool, aren't they, this season, where I think with Liverpool, I think whenever they're not in the title race directly, I always think they have some sort of involvement in where the title goes, and I think that was a perfect example of, what happened today, in the fact they took points off the league leaders. And yeah, in terms of the title race now, it brings Arsenal up to 6 points above Man City, but City still crucially have that game in hand, and crucially as well have to play Arsenal at the Etihad as well, which is going to be an absolute blockbuster, one for the ages, and will remind me of that City and Liverpool clash in 2018-19 when Leroy Sané scored the winner at the Etihad to turn the title in City's favour. Will it be the same story this time round remains to be seen, but City also have the advantage by 5 goals above Arsenal in terms of goal difference as well, and Arsenal do still have to go away to Newcastle as well, so it's going to be such a tough run in. I'm all here for it. I really am all here for it, and I think it's gotten to a point at this stage where it's so hard to call, but I think whoever wins the title this season will really deserve it. And I don't think Arsenal have actually got enough credit by the media this season in terms of how good they've been this season. I mean, 30 games played, 23 wins, 4 draws and 3 losses. I mean, this is an Arsenal team that, make no bones about it, were on the brink of sacking Arteta, the season before last, where they were absolutely horrendous, finishing 8th back-to-back times. Last season, bottled top 4 completely in the last 3 games of the season. And this season, they've been absolutely extraordinary. And I mean, to think, if they win their last 8 games, which isn't beyond the imagination at all, to be fair, they could finish with 97 points, which I find absolutely magnificent. And you know what? I hate Arsenal as a club. I hate their fans in terms of how annoying they are, and I'm sure they'll hate me as well being a Chelsea fan, but you'll have to give them their flowers if they win the league, and even if they don't, it will have been an absolutely unbelievable season from Mikel Arteta and this Arsenal team. And look, I think one player we have to pinpoint for this result in Arsenal's perspective, Aaron Ramsdale. I mean, I've said this guy for time. I said he's underrated in terms of the fact that if you think of the goalkeepers in the Premier League, Ramsdale doesn't really make a significant amount of individual errors or mistakes that lead to goal, and this guy has won Arsenal points this season before. Make no bones about it. I remember Spurs away, he made some crucial saves, and I tell you one thing, that save from Salah with 2 minutes to go or whatever it was, that could win Arsenal the league title this season. And that save from Konate as well, which I think is more of just a scramble across the line, and Konate doesn't get the contact he wants on it. But I think that first save from Salah in the dying embers of the game, that is a world-class save. In the magnitude of this game, in the pressured situation, in the last 5 minutes of a game where you're holding on for dear life, Aaron Ramsdale, he may well have won the league for Arsenal. And it's like Jose Mourinho said with Petr Cech back in the day, if you're going to win a Premier League title, you need a goalkeeper that's going to win you 10-15 points a season, and that is exactly what Aaron Ramsdale has done this season. Not to mention as well, his distribution is absolutely top class as well, and being so young, I think this guy is definitely going to be a world-class goalkeeper. I really do believe that, and I think he's massively underrated in my opinion. I think Gabriel Jesus, once again, his importance was once again evident in this Arsenal performance. Given his link-up play, he's got absolutely everything you'd want in a modern-day striker. Was absolutely brilliant for the goal. His goal, of course, I think Van Dijk was exposed from it, given Van Dijk's a centre-back that's prided himself on his dominance, especially aerially and in terms of his, physical structure, and he was really caught out with that one. To let Jesus have a free header at 1-0 down is absolutely pathetic in my opinion. But yeah, Gabriel Jesus, absolutely brilliant performance from him in terms of what he offered, his work rate off the ball, dropping deep to link up play, and yeah, with that goal as well, I thought he was absolutely brilliant. And to be fair, Arsenal as a team, I thought they were really good. I thought they defended really well for the majority of the game, given that they had to essentially just sit back and soak up pressure for the majority of the second half, to be fair. And if it wasn't for that just, one moment where, Zinchenko gets caught out by Alexander-Arnold, it's backstay cross, and Firmino obviously nods it in, Arsenal will be going away with an absolutely humongous win. Probably, I'd go as far as to say, one of the biggest wins in their history if they won today. But in the end, it's not to be, and yeah, I'd say they'll take a draw in the swing of things, really. And I think it's a case now where Arsenal will just be relieved to have this hurdle out of the way, because it was a massive hurdle. Liverpool away in a title race, even though Liverpool really don't have much to play for this season themselves, because obviously they're out of every cup competition, and yeah, are not going to get top 4. I think it's fair to say right now they are 12 points off top 4, and they're always going to be a difficult team to play against, especially when the fans are on their side, like they were, especially, like I said, after Salah's goal. So I think Arsenal will be absolutely relieved to have this game out of the way. They still have some tough games, bear in mind, like I said, but it's going to be one hell of a title race, and I can't emphasise that enough. And this season in the Premier League in general, given the title race, the top 4 battle, and the relegation battle, it could go down as an all-timer season. It really, really could, given how much there is to play for with, little games left in the season and the whole drama of the season. It's been an absolutely brilliant season, and today was the epitome of that. An absolutely unbelievable game of football from a neutral's perspective. But yeah, Arsenal, they've got to pick themselves up now. They go to West Ham away next week, which will be a tough game, especially given it's an early kickoff on Sunday. And yeah, West Ham do have something to play for themselves in the relegation battle. Yeah, I mean, overall, in summary, I think it was a game that Arsenal will be relieved to come away with a point from, and I think Ramsdale massively has influenced this game in terms of, getting them a point in the end. And I think Liverpool deserve massive credit in terms of the spirit they showed to get back into this game, where they were absolutely dead and buried, and yeah, against the floor basically, with Arsenal being 2-0 up and facing adversity, and yeah, they did really well to fight back and win 2-2. Hold on, did I just say win 2-2? I forgot that was just an Arsenal thing. Sorry, Arsenal fans, I know I've been nice to you in this video, but I couldn't leave it without, leaving a cheeky present for you. But yeah, I don't know what else to say really about this game. It was just an absolutely mental game of football, once again, and yeah, leave your thoughts on the game down in the comment section below. Leave your thoughts, Arsenal fans, on how you think this game went. Are you happy with the draw overall, or do you treat it as a loss? And yeah, do you think you will win the league? And same with Man City fans, or fans in general, get involved in the discussion in the comment section below who you think will win the Premier League title, Arsenal or Manchester City and Pep Guardiola's very bald head. And yeah, leave a like on the video. Like I said, if you did enjoy it, would be absolutely massively appreciated, and help a brother out by subscribing to the channel. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video, and yeah, chat to you later. What a fucking mental game.